Every level of arm wrestling skill explained. Level 1, trash. The bottom of the barrel. These are the arm wrestlers who couldn't pin a middle schooler to save their life. I'm talking about your average guys at the gym, high school kids at lunch, dudes at the bar who think they're strong because they curl 40-pound dumbbells, guys who grip up at a table and suddenly think they're Devon Larratt. Spoiler alert, they're not. They can't control their wrist. Their setup looks like they're trying to shake hands with a ghost. Their pull, slow, weak, and telegraphed from a mile away. Honestly, if you watched one YouTube video on basic technique, you'd already look better than half the people in this category. And the worst part, they're convinced they're strong. They step up to the table with all the confidence in the world, gripping like they're about to rip the thing off its bolts. Nobody's watching them because they're arm wrestlers. People are watching because it's hilarious to see somebody who benches 225 get their hands slammed to the pad in 2 seconds by someone half their size who actually knows what they're doing. Back in the day, you had guys grinding away at local clubs, putting in years before they even thought about competing. Now you've got some dude who arm wrestled his buddy at a party last weekend, thinking he's got what it takes. Bro, pick a lane. At this level, you don't actually take the match seriously. You either watch it as a joke or you tolerate it for the entertainment value. This is trash arm wrestling, and the only thing worse than their form is the fact that some of them actually think they belong in the same sport as real competitors. Level 2. Unlike the Level 1 gym bros, Level 2 guys are actual competitors. They've trained for years, they've been in real arm wrestling clubs, and they've proven themselves at local tournaments. But the truth is, they're stuck in that awkward middle ground. They're good enough to hang around, not good enough to be elite. This is the land of the journeyman. Pullers who show flashes of real talent, but never quite put the whole package together. These are the guys competing every weekend at regional events. They understand the basics, they know what a top roll is. But when the pressure's on and they're across from someone truly elite, something breaks down. Maybe their endurance isn't there. Maybe they panic and abandon their technique. That's the defining feature of Level 2. These pullers have talent. They can win big matches at their level, and sometimes they even surprise a higher-ranked opponent. But they're inconsistent. They're missing that extra gear that separates dangerous from dominant. Tournament directors love them because they're the perfect litmus test. You put them in with a rising star and you find out if that prospect is the real deal. Win impressively, you're moving up. Struggle or lose, maybe you weren't ready. So Level 2 arm wrestlers aren't trash. They're necessary. They're the gatekeepers, the guys who make the sport move forward. But at the end of the day, nobody's talking about them as future world champions. Level 3. These guys aren't trash, and they're not gatekeepers either. In fact, Level 3 pullers are usually the ones winning at the national level with real tournament placements on their record. They're legit. The issue is they just haven't shown enough to be considered truly elite or world class. These are your top national competitors. Guys who've won state championships, placed at nationals, maybe even taken a few matches off internationally ranked opponents. They've got serious technique and real power. But here's the catch. Where's the defining win over a top 10 ranked name? Where's the consistent performance of Al, at King of the Table, at the biggest stages where the absolute best show up? Until they step in with the global elite and prove themselves repeatedly, there's always going to be that asterisk next to their name. That's the story with Level 3 arm wrestlers. They're successful. They win tournaments, they defend their regional dominance, but the level of competition they face keeps them from breaking into the higher levels. They live in that gray zone where the national scene calls them champions, but hardcore international fans are still asking questions. They can headline a regional event and excite fans who follow the national circuit, but when it comes to legacy, they're still waiting for that signature performance. Level 3 pullers are great for the sport. They bring hype and legitimacy to their regions. But until they face the very best on the biggest stages and come out on top, they'll always be remembered as strong national competitors, not world beaters. Level 4, great, but not the greatest. Level 4 arm wrestlers are elite pullers, world-class competitors, dominant in stretches. Denis Cyplenkov is a perfect example. His raw power is unmatched, his grip and forearm strength nearly impossible to counter, and when he steps up to the table, even top competitors feel the pressure. He's beaten ranked opponents, proven himself at international tournaments, and shown he belongs among the world's best. Denis can crush defenses that would stop most pullers, generating speed and strength that few can match. But here's the catch. Some might say, even with all that strength, he still isn't on the same level as the next few legends. Maybe it's longevity, maybe it's a missing signature win, or maybe he just hasn't faced every top-level challenge. His technique is solid, his endurance impressive, and his intimidation factor huge. Yet when compared to Levan or Devon, the gap in complete dominance becomes clear. Beyond power alone, Denis shows flashes of advanced strategy, hand control, and leverage, but moments of hesitation or over-reliance on brute strength keep him from being untouchable. he can still be beaten by a carefully executed counter or a puller who reads him perfectly, which keeps his legacy fascinating to analyze. Even in training sessions, his strength can overwhelm partners, showing why his name carries weight in every circle. Level 5 is where arm wrestling greatness becomes undeniable. Levan Saginashvili is an absolute force of nature, a super heavyweight who seems impossible to stop. He's crushed elite competitors, won multiple world championships, and left his mark on every major tournament he's entered. His hand strength and raw power are legendary, and when he grips the table, the question isn't if he'll win, it's how quickly. Levan dominates his weight class and has redefined what a super heavyweight can do. Beyond sheer strength, his ability to read opponents, maintain near-perfect technique under pressure, and adjust his strategy mid-match is astounding. While some pullers rely on one dominant move, Levan blends power, control, and timing seamlessly. He consistently maintains wrist control, executes flawless top rolls or hooks depending on the opponent, and applies pressure in ways that force even experienced pullers to make mistakes. He's a monster, feared and respected, and there's no doubt he belongs at the very top of his era. Even pullers who thought they could challenge him often find themselves overpowered and outmaneuvered within seconds. When they were the hunter and when they were the hunted. Level 5 arm wrestlers are the backbone of the sport's history. They don't just belong to their era, they shape it. Level 6. Now we're talking about the rare air. Level 6 pullers aren't just champions, they define entire generations. Devon Larratt is the perfect example, a tactical genius, a master of adaptation, and a competitor who has won at every level for over 2 decades. Multiple world championships, victories across weight classes from 1980 pounds to super heavyweight, and an ability to evolve his game make him a nightmare for any opponent. Devon doesn't just beat competitors, he outthinks them, finds weaknesses, and exploits them with precision. His endurance, ability to adjust mid-match, and psychological insight into opponents make him nearly unbeatable. Devon adapts on the fly, countering strategies that would stop almost anyone else, and he can shift between top roll, hook, or press with seamless efficiency. For his generation, Devon isn't just one of the best. He is the standard, the benchmark, the guy everyone else is measured against. Few pullers have combined longevity, versatility, and intelligence at the table like he has. Every match he competes in adds to his legacy, cementing his place as one of the defining figures of modern arm wrestling. Even decades into his career, he remains competitive with younger pullers, proving that experience and strategy can often trump raw physicality. Observing his matches is like watching a chess master manipulate an opponent's every move. Level 7. Level 7 is the peak of arm wrestling. This isn't just about being a champion or even dominating a generation. This is the level reserved for the rare puller whose name becomes synonymous with the sport itself. John Breen stands here. Over 30 years of absolute dominance, victories spanning multiple generations, consistent excellence that defies every law of athletic aging. Brzenk didn't just win, he made arm wrestling what it is today. When people think of arm wrestling, when they think of what greatness looks like at a table, they think of John Brzenk. He competed at the highest level from the 1980s into the 2010s. That's 3 decades of being elite. He faced every style, every era's champions, every new generation that came up thinking they'd be the one to dethrone him, and he kept winning. That longevity combined with dominance is almost unheard of in any sport. Brzenk's technique was beautiful, efficient, precise. He didn't rely on one trick, he was complete. He could hook, he could top roll, he could adjust mid-match and beat you with whatever you weren't ready for. That's what level 7 means. It's about being so far beyond everyone else for so long that your name becomes the measuring stick for greatness. When someone does something incredible in arm wrestling today, people ask, yeah, but how does that compare to Brzenk? That's immortality. John Brzenk didn't just dominate the sport, he became the sport. If you want more breakdowns like this, hit subscribe and follow the action at the table.